welcome to Media Pod Smash, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Jordan, and Happy New Year! We've got an action-packed show today where we're going to be looking back at a lot of great memories and dishing out some yearly awards for stuff. But first, some quick announcements. So, if you haven't had a chance to check out the latest episode of the Freaky Film Club, we did a holiday-themed episode, Christmas Evil. It's a 1980 slasher film that is pretty awesome. I hadn't seen it until this first viewing for the film club episode, and oh man, it's a treat. It's really it actually has a lot going for it. I mean, it's not just this run-of-the-mill cheesy slasher that you would expect. There's a bit going on in terms of the plot, and the actor isn't really hammy. I mean, he could have been a lot hammier. Like, he could have hammed it up real good in this movie, but he walked a really good line, and he was a really great mentally ill person. So check out Christmas Evil and listen to our full review or watch it on YouTube. We did this one together as the film club, and that was, of course, made up of Damon, Mike, myself, and Derek. So it's always a good time to get together with those guys and review some movies. And the other production that was recently released was the Media Pod Smash Christmas Special 2023. This special opens with a song for the very first time. I used an AI music generator to make a score, and then I wrote some lyrics over it. And the final product was Pod Smash Day, which sort of was something I've always been wanting to do, really, since I figured out, you could make music with AI. But it's kind of inspired by the opening musical numbers. Basically, it's just me excited, and I want to make the day a Pod Smash Day. And it really just transitions into the main special, which is some more games with good friends of mine. And for the first time ever appearing on Media Pod Smash is our friend Kevin Peterson, who has been in our circle forever, but just hasn't been on the show at all. So now he's been on it, and hopefully he will be on it in the future many more times. That does it for the announcements. Let's get into the main portion of the show. So much like Halloween, I'm having a very difficult time letting these other holidays go, so I thought I would just do one more food review, and luckily I have my stuff with me right here. We're going to take a look at Sugar Cookie Crunch, Toast Crunch to be exact. And I did check out the other one earlier this season. That was the gingerbread one. And I also did Rudolph's cereal. So let's see if this one is any good and how it stacks up to the gingerbread one. So we'll bust it open right now. And the smell that you get is, well, it's pretty sugar cookie. Is that a word? Sugar cookie-ery. And I have my bowl here, and I have my almond milk. So let's get to business. Sorry about that. And, okay. First, the dry test. You definitely have a hint of the old school Cinnamon Toast Crunch taste, but it does have that. There's sugar cookie in there, definitely, especially when the aftertaste. You let it linger for a while, and you definitely have that sugar cookie taste. Now we'll do it with the liquid. We're not going to try to go too crazy here because I'm not ready to eat a whole meal on camera. That's pretty awesome. And somehow, even the top stuff, it's got like a different flavor too. It's not like the usual dust. Maybe it is, and it just complements this differently, but to me, it definitely tastes different than the usual dust. So, looking at the box here, we've got no games or activities, but we do have this weird-looking Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy or gal with a bow. And I guess final rating, I would give it 3.5 sugar cookie toast crunch people out of 5. And that was the sugar cookie toast crunch review. Well, alright, I guess I'm ready to let the holidays go for once and for all. Now I think it would be a good idea to do a check-in on my resolutions from the beginning of 2023 and see how it went. If I recall correctly, I talked about these in an audio-only episode which was called Resolutions in the Game of Life. And there was only 2 resolutions, but they were pretty big. So let's go over them and see what happened. First one was to learn more, and I do feel like I did a pretty good job of that. I know specifically when I wrote this resolution, I was talking about learning more in terms of like creative things, because I was getting really big into doing the shorts and opening stuff a lot and trying to figure out all that stuff. So I wanted to learn more about YouTube, and I wanted to learn more about editing and different video techniques. So checking in, I do feel like I've progressed a little bit. I certainly haven't evolved as much in Adobe that I would have liked to. I mean, I'm kind of set in my ways. I like to do things how I like to do things, and I might be holding myself back a little bit because there's other techniques I probably could be doing or going faster, but it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, as they say. Do they say that? Maybe it's like an old dog can learn new tricks, and it's supposed to be a positive quote. But anyways, Adobe, I haven't learned a lot so far this year or last year in terms of Adobe tricks, but I feel comfortable with my editing skills. I learned a little bit more about YouTube. I've been using the vidIQ app and taking a lot of their daily lessons, and they're little bite-sized things, but every little bit helps. And I've just been learning too as I go and as I progress and as I try different things and fail at things and just, make videos. There's always going to be learning experiences to come when you're making. So resolution number 1 is pretty solid. And also I've been learning a lot more in terms of just learning general knowledge because I've gone back to school. I went back in September for the first time in over a decade, and it was a very interesting experience. I'm actually writing an essay about it, and that will be releasing very soon, maybe in the next couple episodes. But for now, I'll just say I definitely learned a lot more about human evolution and rocks that I would ever care to know about. And I learned a lot about what I'm capable of in terms of taking on big challenges and overcoming adversity. So I would say as far as resolution 1 goes, check and thumbs up. So number 2, take on another challenge. And I was referring specifically to the 30-day type of challenge because previously in the podcast, I did do a 30-day challenge where I gave up caffeine, and I ended up kind of snowballing it into other things, such as getting better sleep and becoming like more zen by doing meditation and reading more. So this challenge was similar to that challenge, but this time, instead of giving up energy drinks and cutting caffeine, I challenged myself to work out and meditate a lot more often. And so I would do daily workouts, and I cut sugar as well. That was the other part of it. And So that challenge definitely started off with a bang. This happened around the beginning of spring of 2023, and I really tried hard to emulate what I did with the last one. So I made daily audio logs, and I really held myself accountable. And for the most part, I kept it up all the way through. But near the end, I hit a wall because I actually ended up getting an injury, and I got sick right around the same time. So really didn't expect that. You go into something and you get a lot of hype. You get wide eyes and you think like, man, I'm just going to keep this ball rolling. And you don't really account for those outside things, or you really don't think it could happen because it's just so, it's just so far off or just so like, I don't know, you just don't think about it. And so when it did happen, it really did get me slowed down, and I immediately had to stop the challenge. I skipped, I think, at least 2 days of exercise, and I did end up rounding out the 30 days with activity. I got to kind of finish it out, but I had to give up doing anything lower body related because my injury was on my knee. I had bursitis, and I probably am attributing that to running a lot. And I mean, I have a job where I'm on my knees every once in a while, so a lot of impact. But it didn't come with any pain, which I'm thankful for, and I ended up just having been told to wrap it, and that did the trick, and I eventually went back to regular activity. So resolution 2, to make a long story short, I did take on the challenge, and I feel good about the challenge having taken it on because I got as far as I could. But I'm not crazy, I'm not gonna try to push forward through an injury or even sickness. So I'm happy with how it ended up. I did what I could, and I think there probably will be another 30-day challenge in the future. But at the same time, what I also learned from this is that trying to make these sort of challenge events can be tricky or tough at times, because when you get to the end of something exciting like that and you've accomplished it, if you don't have something to latch on to next or leap to next, you might end up kind of getting back into like a rut or into like a, okay, well now what sort of deal. So in some cases, it might just be best to have a consistent goal and just keep going. Like the goal should just be to continue, or just have a bunch of goals in your back pocket for when you finish that big challenge so that you can move on to the next thing very quickly. So those are the 2 resolutions from 2023. And I think for this year, it's going to be something very similar. I want to continue to learn. So that'll be number 1, continue the learning journey. And number 2, this is a very specific goal, but I'm going to just try to get back into like a healthier weight. I want to just lose some weight. So it might just take the form of a challenge, but I might just end up doing like some check-ins, because I just really got out of control over winter break, and I ate a lot of garbage, and I feel it. I feel it when I'm doing physical activity. So it's time to get back into my old fighting weight, and we're gonna get there, and that'll be resolution number 2. And resolution number 3 is I want to have at least 350 subscribers by the end of the year. And I think that's very doable. I don't think that's too crazy of a growth. I'm at just about 280 right now, so we're not talking too much more, but if I surpass that, even better. Then I will continue to push the bar up even further. But the long-term goal is 1,000 subscribers so that we can get into the monetization zone and really, just keep it growing. Because I love making this stuff, and the more people that I can show it to, the better. I mean, at least that's what my ego says. So, all right. Those were my resolutions. Those were my old ones and new ones. And if you guys have some resolutions and you'd like to share them, please write into the show and we'll discuss your resolutions and we can talk about growth and all the great things that 2024 has in store. And now we will take a look at a great couple moments from the show, actually. There's been some wild things that have happened in 2023 in terms of Media Pod Smash. We've made new shows. We've got to hang out with some great people. We've reviewed all sorts of great movies. And of those moments, what we're going to take a look at right now is from a new show, The Gaming Gauntlet. This show started actually, I think, right around January of 2023. And, well, ever since then, I've made quite a few of them. And I've taken on a lot of old school challenges. And I've raged a lot. So we're going to take a look at a short compilation of some great rage moments of 2023. Here we go. What the f*** is that? What's he even holding on to now? Like, I don't know, it's giving me that vibe. Are you f***ing kidding me? He just got too casual all of a sudden. Even after the asshole dies, it's like, he was gonna shoot it the other way. I know he was. You can't suddenly just change your mind at a millisecond, you piece of shell guy. There you go. There's your first outburst for the day. That sucks. It's not enough time, man. They're just too fucking random. There's a F-bomb. That's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god, that sucks. Rose-colored glasses and all that. What the f***? I don't understand why sometimes it's like impossible to get across it, and other times it's like, oh, it's just a straight line. Well, this is not a good one. This is one of those freak out moments where you just like get tilted. F*** this guy too. This guy. He didn't even get the other one back yet, and he's throwing another one out. You think this guy would go a little fucking faster, because who knows what's happening up there on the top floor. Like, this is urgent, man. Stop walking like you just took a shit. Okay, that's just so fucking unfair. Like, they gotta give you some fucking pixels to walk in. I know what to do at the end now. What the Like, how long are you gonna wait until you fire that fucking thing? That guy pulls unlimited ammo of like wooden crosses out of his ass. A bird, unlimited respawns out of nowhere. Football players, unlimited respawn out of the air. A guy with a bazooka has unlimited ammo that passes through enemy birds but hits your ass every single time. I mean, okay, but it's fine. See, how long are you gonna wait? This thing is like a f***ing bird on angel dust. I hate this! I f***ing hate it! Wow, those sure were some angry moments. Alright, now we're gonna talk about some notable things that happened in 2023. On March 9th, the U.S. record industry reported that for the first time since 1987, sales of vinyl records exceeded CD sales. That is pretty wild. And I'm happy to say that I actually contributed to that. And I'm going to show you my favorite record of 2023. And that is a gentleman who is actually unfortunately no longer with us, but they put this album out through I think it's Sacred Bones. Well, this says Patchcord Productions, but I think Sacred Bones put the album out. So this is Mort Garson, who is known basically as the father of electronic music. He used one of these beefy synthesizers. It's like I think they call it like the Moog synthesizer or something. And yeah, he really did a lot of experimental synthesizer type of stuff. And this album is a collection of unreleased material and random recordings that he did. It comes with a poster that features some more of his stuff. And this is actually the machine. I don't know if you can see it that well, but this is the machine that he used. And there's a little pamphlet too that has some stuff that is also for sale. And then this is really neat. You can flip this around and you can slide this into the sleeve so that he's in the suit. There he is. So it's pretty awesome. And yeah, music is really fun. I have a commercial to thank for this because I discovered it through a TurboTax commercial that was on last year, I believe. And the song was off of his Plantasia album, which is an album that was designed to play for your plants. And yeah, that song, it was in a TurboTax commercial, and I was like, what the heck is this? Like, this is insane. Like, it sounds so magical. And I went on a deep dive down a rabbit hole of Mort Garson and learned that this was very old music. He actually started in the 60s. And I believe he passed away in like 2008. So he's been gone for quite some time, but his legacy lives on. And they keep releasing all this cool shit. And I think more and more people are discovering it slowly but surely. And so raging against commercials mostly, but every once in a while they do give me some gems. And if you haven't had a chance to check out any of his stuff, I definitely recommend it. So what else happened? On May 2nd, the Writers Guild of America went on strike after a labor dispute. And unfortunately, nobody called me. I was still available for work, but I didn't get any phone calls for any writing gigs. July 21st, Greta Gerwig's Barbie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer both debuted in cinemas at the same weekend. So we had Barbenheimer, and this is going to be pretty wild to admit, but I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I have seen Barbie. I just have a thing about seeing these long-ass movies in theaters. I mean, it's a real chore sometimes. So I have to like really, really commit, and it has to be on a day that I'm really feeling it. So I am going to get around to seeing this movie. I don't know. People are going to be shaking their heads and be like, dude, you like film and you haven't even seen this yet? But one day, don't worry. It'll be fine. I'll see it. But I did see Barbie, and that was interesting. I enjoyed the sets. I thought that was my favorite part of it. I thought it was just like some really magical, fun sets, especially when they were doing the transition from the real world to Barbie world, like doing like all the, riding the bikes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great movie for a lot of people. It's super fun and meta. There's a lot of great humor. There's some good messages in it. My theater going experience was very awkward because I went by myself, which I have no problem with. I think going to a theater alone is actually one of the better ways to experience a movie, because like really Yeah, sometimes you want to like have some quips and stuff with the person, but most of the time you're just sitting there watching anyways, and so you get to have the place to yourself. You get to kick back and you just get to enjoy the movie. It's like you're in your own if you kill your peripheral vision, it's like you're in your own giant living room, and like you can pretend you're a rich person. Sometimes I even come in here to the theater with this hat on, pretending I have Uncle Pennybags from the Monopoly game, and it really enhances the experience even more. But Barbie alone was weird. It was a pretty packed evening. There was just a lot of, I don't know, it did feel a little awkward. There was a lot of ladies in there, a lot of groups of ladies just hanging out, and there was a scene that particularly came on at one point where one of the main characters gives a rallying speech, and a whole section of theater just started erupting and cheering, and like, I mean, what a moment. You really don't see that very often. Yeah, so good on them. I mean, whatever. If a movie is able to elicit that kind of emotion, it must be doing something right. And it has made quite a bit of money, so clearly I'm not alone in feeling that way. So September 13th, we had the UFO expert, in quotes, Jamie Mawson. He presented the bodies of 2 alleged aliens before Mexican Congress. I did see this when it was happening. I watched the live stream, and at first I was like, holy shit, this is insane. But then, of course, you do a little deeper dive, and you learn about the guy, you learn about the specimens, you learn about his history, and you look a little closer, and you're like, this is just goofy. This is some goofy shit. What is going on? Why are we presenting this, and why is it like on a live stream? But like, why? This is clearly like some recreation. It looks ridiculous. But it made some great memes, and for that brief moment, much like all these little alien stories, it's like you have hope, but then it gets taken away like that. And it's my fault for being the blind optimist that I am, and wanting aliens to be real. That's my problem. I just want it so badly, but it's like, it's just so easy to make these fakes nowadays, and everyone's out there trying to make a quick buck and make a name for themselves, and it's gonna be very difficult if we ever really do find like real specimens, because you're always first gonna have people that never want to believe it, so they'll see like the specimens and be like, okay, yeah, like whatever. Like you could show them a real alien right in front of them and have them cut open and have like organs that we can't even identify, and they'd still be like, you figured out a way to make that. It's a movie prop. So there's just, first of all, always gonna be people like that. But then it's just, like I said, it's so easy to fake stuff. So I get it. I mean, I it's hard for me to believe things, even me. So I don't know. One day I would love to see a craft or something like revealed from our government. I mean, our government did stuff. They had people come out and say things, but it's never the ooh and ah experience that you're really hoping for, at least that I'm hoping for. So 2023 was almost the year of aliens, but wasn't quite enough. Although we did release the UFO Mysteries from Beyond special in 2023, and that was a pretty awesome alien special. So, you know what? 2023 was the year of aliens, damn it. And those were some notable things that happened in 2023. Now, let's take a look at some more great moments from MPS of 2023 in this quick clip show.
Four voodoos out of 10.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan either.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
2.5 out of 5 if we're going on
Okay,
a 5
yeah.
point scale to keep it consistent.
Okay, now, finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the award ceremony. So I just have a few quick awards. It's not going to be quite the same pomp and circumstance that it was on last year's New Year's episode, but there's some fun awards here. So let's get started. First of all, favorite movie of 2023. This is actually tied between two films, and I'll preface this by saying I didn't see a lot of movies this past year. I watched a lot of horror movies in preparation for Freaky Film Club episodes, but that was about it. I maybe can count on one or two of my hands the amount of times that I was in a theater, and the rest of the time I was watching mostly stuff that I'd already seen here at home. So my picks are gonna be Super Mario Brothers and Scream 6. All right, so first of all, Super Mario Brothers, mostly just because it took away that awful taste of that first one from the 90s, 94 or whatever, whenever it came out. And that alone should be enough to elevate it to my top of my list. And it was just a solid movie. It didn't do anything too crazy. It wasn't like, something that I walked out of going like, this changes writing and visuals forever. But it was solid. It was a solid popcorn film. It was very fan servicey, which I enjoy. I loved looking at the background to try to catch different references. And it sets the stage for what is surely going to be a great series of many more movies in this giant open Nintendo universe. So I'm all for it, and I really dig it. And Scream 6, I loved it. I enjoyed all the films in the franchise. I did a bit of a mini marathon going up to watch this one, and I like the fact that it takes place right after 5. I love the setting. I like that the cast came back. There's great moments that are memorable, and it says a lot because I have a poor memory, and we watched this movie in theaters many, many months ago now. There's great tension building moments, for instance, in the mini mart. I loved that. I love the references to the other films, and it doesn't feel like they just shoehorned them in there just to have them. Like they're part of the plot. So both these films, I'll give them both 4.5 somethings out of something else out of 5. I mean, so that's the something else, but somethings out of 5. And it's tough to get a 5, so that's why these two great movies on the top of my list are just 4.5, if you wanted to know. All right, next, this award goes to Best Music of 2023, and I'm not going to be giving this to an album because I really didn't have a lot of time to listen to new albums. So I'm going to give this to a song that's going to be on a new album this year from the Kaiser Chiefs, and the song is called Feeling Alright. And this is a song that I feel is very much a return to form. It feels like classic Kaiser Chiefs, and it makes me hopeful for this album. There was another single that was released just prior to this that was called, I think, Jealousy, which made me a little concerned because it had that poppy flavor that you heard from the Stay Together album, which it did grow on me. It took a while, but it did grow on me. But at first I was like, this is what the hell? This isn't even the same band, is it? But I was concerned, like I said, but it's. I think we're going to be just fine. It's 10 tracks. We've heard 3 of them so far. I like 2 out of 3, and even Jealousy is going to probably grow on me. And that album is due to come out in March. So that is my favorite song of 2023, and I don't really have a favorite album, but if you would like to recommend me some of your favorite albums of 2023, please feel free to write in, as well as your favorite movies, or really any of these categories. If you happen to disagree with them and you want to tell me what you thought, write in. We are online everywhere, basically. You can hit us up on social media, at MediaPodSmash. You can direct message us there, or you can send an email to the show email, mediapodsmash@gmail.com. All right, next award. This one is going to be for the favorite moment of 2023, and there were some good ones, not going to lie, but I'm definitely going to have to give it up to finishing semester 1. So I did talk a little bit about going back to school as an adult learner, but I'll just say here real quick that finishing was probably my favorite moment because it was hard. It was very difficult to go back and do this. I had to relearn how to be a student. I had to do a lot of things I haven't done in a long time, like just carve out time for studying, take tests, do assignments, read. I probably read more this past semester than I have in years. I read a lot of textbooks, and I read a lot of articles for assignments, and there were times where I was on the verge of having panic attacks or nervous breakdowns even. I don't really know what nervous breakdowns are, but I think I was about to have some. And I was like, what did I do? You know, like, did I really sign up to do this shit? Like, what was I thinking? And there were even times after some bad scores where I was like really down on myself and just thinking like, you blew it, man. This was, you had your chance to do it again and you blew it. And I felt pretty bad. But you dig yourself out of a hole, you keep going, you have a short memory, and you just rally to the end, and the end does come. It really does. There's always an end. So I made it, and I am so glad that I did. I have such a relief. I've got a relieved feeling, and it's on to the next one. But I get a little break here, and I'm going to continue to make some fun content while I'm on break. And I just know now I am capable of so much more than I thought. So it has got to be one of my favorite moments of 2023. And now let's see, favorite promo item. This was tough because there was a lot of good Halloween promo items yet again, and there was even some good Christmas promo items. But I'm going to have to give it up to the Boo Buckets. 2-time champions, baby. Come on, let's give it up. That's right, folks. 2 years in a row now, Boo Buckets have taken this spot because they have come back again. And we didn't really know if they were going to do it, but there were some rumors and there was some murmurs, and they did. They released some new Boo Buckets for this season, and actually you get 4 this year instead of 3. And the only thing that I'll say that I was not pleased with was this orange one came out, and it made me look stupid because I didn't read the thing, and then I recorded my video and I just called it the pumpkin one, but it's actually a skeleton. But why the F would you make it orange and try to call it a skeleton? Like, my brain's automatically just going to associate it with a pumpkin. So how dare you make me look foolish, McDonald's? But otherwise, great on you for bringing them back. And this brand new purple bucket, the vampire one, it's sexy. All right, I'm going to say it. It's so sexy. I love this purple color, and it totally embodies the whole spirit of this season. And just Great stuff, everybody. Good job, McDonald's. Unfortunately, you know what? This award could have actually gone to Burger King because they put buckets out this year as well to try to rival McDonald's, but their buckets were only available in select areas, and it was like, why, guys? You really could have. You had the opportunity to do something really special. It would have even taken the bad taste of that stupid commercial out of my mouth, but instead, I'm going to double down on my hate for it. And this year, yeah, get ready. More rage is coming your way, BK. Okay, so what's next? Best game. This was difficult because 2023 was a great year for games. There was a lot. We had Starfield, which, is being met with mixed reviews, but there was some fun things about it. I played it all the way through, and I enjoyed it. We had tons. We had Legend of Zelda. We had Super Mario RPG. We had quite a few other big AAA titles that I won't name here, but we'll go through a list here on screen. Maybe some stuff will pop up. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to have to give it up to is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And the reason why is because it was just a game that really it checked a lot of boxes for me, and it made me return to a time of being a young kid without a lot of responsibilities and just sitting on the couch having fun. And it's a game that you can just jump into with a lot of people, so it brings back the whole party vibe. And it's a classic Mario side-scrolling platformer, but there's a new twist because you get to collect Wonder Seeds. And when you collect them, you go on like these trips, and it makes the screen all weird, and weird things happen. And there's new power-ups, like the elephant power. I mean, how can you not love watching Mario and his friends become elephants and knock blocks across the screen? Like, how awesome is that? Nintendo always just finds a way to create fun, and I'm all for it. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, game of the year for me. But there were plenty of other great games. Don't get me wrong. Next, the hell yeah moment of 2023. And this is the final award this year. I didn't get too zany with my list. It was a lot of just basic stuff this year, but that's okay. The hell yeah moment is a big moment. It was a moment that I've been waiting for years, actually. And it was the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. So, I have been getting myself hyped up for this game for quite some time. I've been browsing the GTA 6 subreddit at least since 2018. If you've been listening to our show for a while, you know I've been talking about it. I've had my wish list. I've speculated. I have done a lot of things in regards to Grand Theft Auto 6, and now we finally have proof that it's on its way. The trailer dropped just actually not that long ago. So it was a really great moment. I remember watching it, actually seeing the thing, thinking it was a mistake because they actually just released it because of a leak happened, and so they released it before it was supposed to come out, like maybe 24 hours or so before it was supposed to happen. And it was awesome. It had that great Tom Petty song in the background. It introduced us to the two possible protagonists, Jason and Lucia, which, if you've been following the leaks and the forums, you already knew that that's who it was. And you have confirmation now that it takes place in the great Vice City and other parts of Florida. So I'm all for this game. I'm super hyped. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 to get myself prepped up for it, and I can't wait to see what more news and videos come out about this in future months. And now that takes us to the end of the show. So everybody, I hope you all had a great 2023. It was really kind to me, and we accomplished a lot of great things. Myself, both artistically and personally, I grew a lot, and I hope you did as well. And I just hope that 2024 has the same things in store. And well, yeah, that's it, guys. It's gonna. I don't really hope. I know that 2024 is gonna have great things in store as well. So, Media Pod Smash Off.